we're with Andrea at Heartfelt Creations, and she's going to show us or demo us how to make
a large carnation. It's actually this one here.
Yay!
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to stamp this off. So we are working with Colorbox chalk ink today. This is a lipstick red. It's a dye-based ink. We love this because since it's dye-based, it will dry quickly, and when we're handling our flowers, we really don't want it to smudge. So this is wonderful. So we'll stamp this off. This one is doing 2 at once, so it's speeding up our process. We'll take the coordinating die. The blade is actually on the edge here. So what that means is we can face it down, and we'll be able to see right through to line up our image. That way when I go to cut this out, I know I'm not going to cut off half a flower. So I went ahead and taped it. If you do have a magnetic plate, you can use that as well. And this is going to run through any manual die cutting machine. I'll send that right through. Now I'm pulling it back to me, but this really only needs to be run through once. So after that's cut out, of course we're going to want to add a little bit of color. Now at home, you can color any way that you like. The only problem we have is that we just don't always have a whole lot of time. So the finger dauber options have been a great option to get really fast and beautiful color. You can see these are our finger daubers. They're stackable and they're triangular now, so you can get into the tiny detailed spaces. So on my carnations, I'm just going to do the outer edges to give this a little bit of color. Now most of the flowers that are on the little board here in front of me while I'm doing this, they are actually colored the same way. So if you are wanting a really bold look, if you're wanting something more subtle, this will work for both. It's also very forgiving. There we go.
Question, is this paper or foam?
It's paper.
So you have to have the stamp and the cutter, right?
Yeah, so you need the stamp and the cutter unless you want to hand cut them out. So after we have all the color, we're ready to shape and style these. Now in the past, we have always used our stylus. We love these. These are still wonderful to work with, especially if you're wanting to get a lot of shape. But something that's brand new for us are shaping molds. Now the reason that we've started to do these is because there are lots of you crafters out there that are wanting to do lots of flowers at once and you don't have time. Some of you are struggling with your technique, or some of you are just having some like hand joint issues, maybe arthritis. This is going to make your life super easy. So I just want you to know there are 4 molds. There's going to be a mold to work with the classic rose stamp and die to create the rose. There's one for the poinsettia, and there's also one for the lush lilacs. The one that I'm using today is actually the basic. I like to call it universal because it's going to work with any and all of your flowers to create more of a textured look. So I just want to coordinate a similar size to the whole. I want to spritz just a little tiny bit of water to break up the fibers. It's just going to make it easier for it to hold that shape once it's finished. We'll put this on, and then this is going to go through our die cutting machine. Now at home, there are only 2 machines that are not going to work with these. That's going to be the Gemini and the Grand Caliber. Otherwise, these are going to work on all of your machines. It's just that your sandwich is going to be different. And I do just want to highlight on our package, we always have the little, I guess you'd call it, it's not a code, but you type it in the internet and it's going to pull up this item. And so if you're not sure what your sandwich is for your machine, just check our website and that will have it. So with the 2 molds Vagabond today, I'm actually using a cut plate, a mold, a shim, and this shim is actually 2 layers of 100-pound cardstock, and then a top plate. And then we can send it through our machine. Now, depending on what machine you have and how things are going, this is an automatic machine, so I'm not able to crank this through myself. And one thing I noticed is that as your plates are starting to warp a little bit, it's getting a little bit finicky with how it's going to go through. And that's why you saw me try and put it through one way, and I flipped it the other way then to actually put it through. So just something to be aware of. It's very easy though. So when I take all of this off and I open this up, you are going to notice that I already have lots of shape and lots of texture. So I could be finished just here. I've got 2 options, I would say, at this point. If I'm still wanting a little bit more shape, I can go in and just pinch a little bit on the edges because it's still a little bit damp. And this is just going to give that little bit of extra. I don't have to, but I can. So we'll do that on that bottom one. Otherwise, we will take our shaping tools and we're going to go right in the center to pop that flower to life. You can see how quickly and how easily that's working. Now, today, Instead of just assembling and putting some little frills in the center, we have new wired stamens, and so we are actually going to take a paper piercer and work on our paper piercing mat, poke a little hole right in the middle, so that way we can actually work with those stamens. So I've got that on both. We'll go ahead and take a few of these. When you're shopping with us, we actually have 3 different packs of 10 colors. So we've got pastels, we've got kind of an assortment, and we have bright colors. So if you're not seeing a color you like right away, I'm sure that there's another pack with other colors. But you can see how quickly and easily that goes in.
Cute.
We love to use the Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue since it does dry clear and quickly. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of this right there to hold together our 2 flowers. And one nice thing about this particular large carnation is that the coordinating die actually has this wonderful little scalloped cup in here. And so we die cut those out in advance. I have one here. And what this is going to do, we are going to turn this into a more dimensional cup, and it is going to reinforce the bottom of your flower to hold that shape nice and full. So this spot that's perforated we'll snip apart, we'll put it onto our shaping mat. With the larger end of our stylus, we'll go all the way around. You can see how full that is. We're going to glue 2 to 3 scallops. There we go. Okay. And this dries very quickly, which is nice. You could always do them in advance if you wanted as well, though. We'll put glue all the way around in there. And then, like I said, this is just going to reinforce and go right up against the bottom there. Just gives a little extra lift and hold. Now, of course, we can't finish this without a little bit of glitter. So, today we're using the frosting powder, which is kind of a nice variety. It has some chunky glitter, it has some fine glitter, but the way that we're applying it today is a little bit different. I'm actually putting my Dries Clear Glue onto a sponge, and then we are just going to brush this onto our petals. I like to describe this, it kind of goes on random, but very, very evenly. So it's not getting a bunch of globs. And then I can actually just dip this into the frosting powder. So it really finishes it off beautifully. Now, just to show you some other things that this particular flower can create, this is the large carnation, but this one here on my board is also the large carnation. And we've got lots and lots of carnation samples on this board as well, up here.
See, this is what I'm... Oh, wow. That's the large carnation in the die?
Yes, it is the whole carnation collection. So you're going to see also some small carnations up there and a little bit of our fanciful carnation stamp and die as well.
Oh, wow.
So at home, if you are feeling, you know, you're trying it, this is helpful, but you're still a little intimidated, we have lots of online tutorials as well. So there's always going to be some extra help available for you so that you can create these beautiful flowers too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.